it's time for EPMS again. It's time, all the EPMSs are gonna be due this month.
Oh, yeah.
That time of the year.
Yeah.
So what's really the real point of doing EPMS?
I know.
I've never saw the value it brought to anything.
Me either. I don't see the point. I don't know why we have to do this.
What do you mean? Y'all haven't had a good experience with it?
Not at all. I don't know about Cora, but mine has just been,
Well, at least your supervisor doesn't do the famous drop and run method.
What the heck is a drop and run method?
I can't either.
the famous drop and run, huh?
Yeah.
I
That's
can
what he
beat that
did.
one. I'm sure I can beat that one. Y'all remember that time we went out to lunch and my supervisor tracked me down?
Oh God!
Oh yeah,
You're
Oh,
right. I
my
remember that. That was
In the middle of
hilarious.
my lunch.
Brian, I've been looking everywhere for you. Look, can you sign this for me real quick? It's your EPMS. They're kind of breathing down my neck to get this turned in. We can talk about it later, but can you go ahead and sign it for me, please?
Do you have a pen?
No. Do y'all have a pen? Scoot over. Do you have a pen? Are y'all having a good time?
We were.
Yeah.
Great. Is this a good restaurant here?
Well, we haven't gotten our food yet, so we're not sure.
Oh, well, look, thanks a lot. We'll talk about it later.
That was.
We decided. Wow.
Yeah, and there we're all sitting there, and there's your EPMS form. It was unreal.
I can't believe he did that. And did he ever come back and talk to you about it?
You're right.
I can't believe this is what happens to y'all. This is not my experience at all.
Really?
No, not even close. I mean,
yours does.
you would not believe. Koa sits down and at the beginning of the year, we do a planning stage. She talks about what is it we're supposed to be working on. I mean, she gives me a chance. She gives it to me in draft form and gives me a chance to comment on it, make changes.
Wow.
And then at the end of the year, we talk about it. We go over it. She usually asks me to actually put some comments on how I did on each of the things before she actually writes it. And then we get together and talk about it.
Hey,
Hi, Cora.
Hey, how are you?
Great, how are y'all?
Good. It's about to get out of here. I got work to do.
My break's up too.
I got so many emails to answer.
Oh, I need to talk about
I know. Yeah.
I was just like,
That's good.
I know.
I was talking to Sarah a little bit earlier. She was, I guess, explaining to me how you do your EPMS is, and it's completely different from any experience I've ever had.
Really?
And given that I've just become a supervisor, I think I'd like to get some tips on you on how to do a
Okay.
good EPMS.
Well, when I became a supervisor several years ago, I had to start thinking about the EPMS as a process rather than a one-time event that happens every December. I like to use it as a process where my employees can come to me at any time throughout the year. We can look at the planning stage, and if things need to be changed, it's okay.
How often or how soon do you do the planning stage with your employees?
I do the planning stage as soon as we can actually get it together.
Really? Around January, February, go ahead and get that
January,
done?
yeah.
Wow.
Go ahead and get it out of the way.
And how often do you give Sarah feedback?
I give Sarah feedback as often as I can, really. The EPMS should not be a surprise.
And when you're done at the end of the year, when you're finally sitting down to do the full EPMS, how does that work? I mean, do you all just sit down and just talk about it the day of, or do you give it to her a day or so in advance and let her look at it?
Well, I'll let her look over it. Of course, there's no surprises there. We've been working on it all year, and what we do is we just look over it and we make sure everything looks good, and we start planning for next year. It's an exciting process.
So you go ahead and start planning the next year at this year's review.
Oh yeah.
Wow. And Sarah's involved the entire time.
Sarah's involved. It's really a good development tool for her, as well as one for me, because it's on my EPMS to complete their EPMSs correctly.
That it is.
And also, I hate to bring these kind of things up, but in tight budget times, some agencies are considering RIFs. Now, EPMS scores are included in RIF plans.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
So I have to make sure I get everything in on time, because I would hate for any of my employees to get a meets by default and they deserve more than that.
So true. I tell you, you've really opened my eyes up to this whole EPMS process, and I really thank you for taking the time out just to give me a little bit of tips on how to do it correctly.
Well, feel free to come by my office anytime. I can look at your planning stage or anything you'd like.
Thanks a lot, Phil.
Anytime.
But I've got to get back to work now. My break's up, so
All right.
I'll see you a little bit later.
See ya.